think what I want, but I'm here to tell you anyway. This is a strange world that we live in, and these are indeed strange times. Oh, if you want to understand them, you gotta have a strange mind.
Good evening, everybody. Thanks for coming down. Welcome to Clinical Depression, Finding No Pleasure at All in Most Activities, a TV show in which we explore the condition of clinical depression and how it informs the culture. Thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule to stop in and watch the show tonight. You're not going to be disappointed. We have the biggest show yet. A lot of prep's gone into this. Got an amazing show for you. I just have to get the graphics set up. Later on, we're going to be having a special guest, Dan Thorn. He's from New Jersey. I'm from Connecticut. We're going to be kind of hashing out our differences, having a roundtable discussion to get into those geographical tensions. It's going to be mediated by Evan Fox, who's going to be hopefully be helping us see the bright side of things, giving us a New Hampshire perspective of things.
Wait,
and thanks for the New Hampshire perspective that you do have, Evan. Our big special guest tonight is Donald Loring Brown, the author, who has written the book The Morphine Dream, which is available on Amazon.com. You could also like the book on Facebook. Just search for his name there, Donald Loring Brown. Let's search for author Donald Loring Brown. You'll be able to find the Facebook page. It's got 650 likes right now. We want to give him the clinical depression bump and bump that page up to 1,000 likes. Don came down here tonight, thankfully. Don, I think you're in the right place. Our audience is, people, is everyone who's coping with different degrees of depression, anxiety, panic, etc. And your book, which I started reading, is pretty amazing. Really briefly, I share a lot in common with you. Ted Williams, one of my heroes too. I would have loved to have played baseball with Tony C. like you did. Your dad committed suicide when you were 13. Then you played some professional football. When you retired from that in your mid-30s, you only had a 9th grade education. You found laboring work. You got into an industrial accident, blew out your knee, ended up in a hospital where you pretty much kind of finagled a little too much morphine from the nurses and changing shifts. And then when you were having almost like a morphine overdose, almost, you had a vision of what you were going to do with the rest of your life and how you were going to live, and you manifested that. You went to school with Barack Obama at Harvard Law School. You got your degree. You ended up walking across America. I'm just so intrigued. It's a great pleasure for me and honor to have you down here. I guess fill in the blanks for us. And again, you got until 7:47, Don. What are some ways that we can cope with depression and figure out how to live a life worth living?
I think that's probably the major question I had to deal with when I was just a young kid. My father had been depressed for all of my life, and when he killed himself, it left us all in a kind of a quandary, and I lived through depression after depression until I was 37 when I had that infamous morphine dream. And I decided I was going to just live differently, and I learned that the depression, as bad as it can be, it's going to go away. Things are going to get better pretty quickly, and if you just let it go away, that's the secret. And I also learned, after being asked many times by doctors, was I suicidal? I said, yeah, of course I'm suicidal. I lived with it all my life. And that doesn't mean I'm going to do it, because I always have said to myself, I can't go there because I don't want to do to my children what my father did to me. But depression just part of life. It's an illness that no different than having diabetes or heart trouble or a broken finger. It's just something that goes wrong, and there's nothing wrong with being depressed. I mean, there's so many people that are depressed and most of them won't admit it. I guess the best thing to do is admit it. Admit that you have depression, expect it to come along, and expect to wait it out and wait for better things to happen, because that's always what's going to happen. Things always get better after they feel the worst, if you're just patient enough to wait.
Yeah, I have a friend she's a yoga instructor, and she tells me the exact same thing, like to not fight it, to just accept it, and just let it run its course, and not try to block it, not try to pretend it's not happening. And I guess, do you still have bouts of depression, Don? Or?
I have, minimal ones now. I don't get any major depressions, but part of that is I've been taking medicine for 25 years or more, and I've been doing therapy, even though I don't do it as much anymore. I still do it regularly so that I somebody's watching me to make sure I don't go awry, because being depressed is no fun. But when it does happen, I just say, oh, it'll go away in a day or two or three or four, whatever. It's going to go away, so I know it's going to go away, and that's the only thing I rely on. Wait till it goes away, and then build other things into my day and my schedule that are going to make me feel good.
Yeah.
Go take a walk. If you feel like you're going to get depressed, go take a walk. Don't walk for a mile, walk for 10 miles. After walking for 10 miles, you'll feel pretty good, because something goes on.
Now, you walked across the entire United States of America.
I did.
How long did that take?
It took me 4.5 months, and when I planned it, I planned that I would get depressed. And I took with me some Rocky videos and videos of my children and so forth. So when I did get depressed, which I did, I just holed it up in a motel and watched videos for 18 hours. And then the next day I was fine, because I purposefully planned that I would be depressed, so I had to have things with me to deal with it. And dealing with it is to do things to make yourself feel better. Whatever that is, whether you take a walk, or you go to the gym, or you go listen to music or something that will make you feel better.
And not to do the things that are going to make you feel worse.
Right.
Right.
And I remember one time I was in the hospital. I had surgeries, and then I would go to psychiatric ward for depression. And I was in the hospital. It was the 3rd time I had been in a psychiatric ward. And the group leader asked people to tell everybody why it was they were back in a hospital more than 2 times in their hospitalization situation with depression. And the first person said, well, I didn't take my medicine, and I didn't go for therapy. And the second person said the same thing, and the third person, all the way around to me. And boy, did that make me aware of, I'm going to go to therapy, and I am going to take my medicine no matter what. And because I don't want to lose the downtime that you have with depression.
Right. Okay. So yes, it's up to me. If I've got to take the steps, I've got to change my attitude. I've got to take positive action.
That's everything in life. If you want something, you got to do it yourself. Nobody's gonna come along with magic remedies. You got to find the remedy for yourself, and it's hard work. But it's worth it, because when you're waiting for a depression to go by, it's just like having a cold, waiting for the cold to go by. It's no different. And if you got a cold, what are you going to do? Kill yourself? You can't. So it's the same thing with depression. You're not going to do it. You gotta stay away from that. That's not an answer. When people get suicidal, that's no answer.
Don, how old are you now?
I'm 71.
You're 71.
Too soon old, too late smart.
What do you what you got cooking now? It's 71. You're trying to hustle the book, right? Morphine Dream. You're trying to make it into a movie.
We're close to a movie. We've won a couple of film festivals with the screenplay, and it's all about trying to get together investors with people who are interested in making it. We got the people who are interested in making it. Now we need the money, which is always the most difficult part of getting a movie done. Somebody has to put up the money, and unless that happens, nobody's going to do any movie.
So how do we? Where does that stand right now? Do you have anybody interested in investing in the screenplay and making a movie out of it?
We've had some offers, but nothing appropriate yet. But there's a lot of people with the screenplay looking at the project and so forth. And you know, it's important for me because it's important for the message to get out there that if you have this kind of background that leads you to be depressed often, there's a way out. And the way out, the recipe is in the book. How you get out. You know, make a plan, write a list. Don't just make a plan and talk about it. Don't dream something for yourself and talk about it. Dream it and make a plan and then execute the plan. And it sounds easy, and it is. It really is easy to execute a plan. But if you don't have a plan, it's just blah, blah, blah. You're not going to get anywhere.
Well, what were some of your biggest obstacles when you came out of the hospital and you wanted to become a lawyer, right? You wanted to go to Harvard Law School specifically, or
Yes,
and
that was the dream.
And then you also wanted to walk across America. So when you came out of the hospital in 1981 at the age of what,
37.
37. What were your biggest obstacles in the pursuit of your goals and your dreams?
I didn't really have any obstacles. It was clearly my responsibility to make myself better and just to make a plan and to go for it. Everything I planned came to pass. You know, when I wrote the Morphine Dream on a pad, the motivational speaker said, write on the top of a pad where you want to be in 5 years, and I wrote Harvard Law School, and then he said, write what you have to do to get there. So I wrote, go to community college, get a GED, and kick ass. And, you know, it was up to me to do that. I didn't have any obstacles. You know, I had maybe financial aid problems, but those were solved. Those are all just little steps along the way. But of course, the most important thing is to write the plan and just keep taking steps towards realizing your goals.
Because you connected to something that you definitely wanted to do and brought you joy, and something that you were like, this is what I want to do for my life. I want to go to Harvard Law School. You somehow connected to like a deep desire like that.
Well, I put, you know, pretty significant goals in front of me because anything else would have been not enough, because at that time I couldn't walk and I didn't think I would ever walk again. So, you know, when I threw out the idea of Harvard Law School, it was just like the best thing I could think of, the hardest thing I could ever think of. And it was, you know, it was all put out there as part of a plan to help me to feel better about me and help me to do better. And as time went by and I was getting the education and I would have depression problems, I just kept moving towards the goal. And, you know, an interesting story was I was at Amherst College before I started to go there. I stayed there for the summer because I had to learn to get around the campus in a wheelchair. And I found out there was a counseling center with psychiatrists and so forth. So I went there, and it was in the back of an old building way up on the top floor, so nobody would know you were there. And everybody was too ashamed to say they needed to go to the counseling center. Well, I'm not. So I went up there and I said to the lady, I'd like to make an appointment to see a psychiatrist. And she said, are you having an immediate problem? And I said, no, but by next week I will. Because I knew I would have a problem. Mm-hmm. And so I was prepared for it, and I was dealing with it, and I was doing the therapy, and I was doing the medication. And at times the doctor would say, well, you don't need to take the medication anymore. And I said, the hell I don't. I'm taking it. I'm doing whatever it makes me feel better and makes my life better. And before the Morphine Dream, my life was just chaos. And after the Morphine Dream, it was about learning how to plan and execute a plan. And the biggest part of it was to do away with the depression in my life. And I've pretty much done that.
It's so inspiring, Don. Now, you mentioned you're working on a new book right now.
I'm just about to finish a book on Amherst College, my time at Amherst. It's called Made in Amherst. And then I got 3 more that are just about ready to go. And
3 more books.
Yeah, one of them is about my time at Harvard Law School. And
with Barack Obama.
Yeah, the focus on that book is a few chapters about Obama. And then I've got two follow-up books to Man, Child in the Promised Land and Coming of Age in Mississippi. I've done a lot of work on those two books and those authors, and I'm writing the sequels to those two books.
Man, Child in the Promised Land. That's a poetic title. What's that about?
That's about a black guy who goes from North Carolina to Harlem when he's a little boy to his family went to the Promised Land, where they had an apartment and an indoor bathroom and running water and so forth, things they never had. And it's a very famous book. It sold 50 million copies all over the world, and it's used in college courses all over the world. And I wrote my thesis at Amherst College on one of my theses on that book. So now I'm publishing an up-to-date version of that book, and then same with Coming of Age in Mississippi. That's the same kind of a book. It's about a girl who grew up in the South, though, in Mississippi, and it's a fascinating book that also sold all over the world and is used in college courses everywhere. So those two sequels are coming out within the next year. And I got a few more in mind, but I got to get these out first.
Well, I hope when I'm 71 that I'm still as actively engaged in life as you are, and I can't help it. I think it's so great to have kind of a selfless kind of pursuit of trying to lend a helping hand for anybody. As we know, the suicide rate in America is up. I think I saw the stat like 24% in the last 15 years. There's kind of a mental health crisis in this country, and it's super inspiring and totally awesome, dude, to see you doing what you're doing. We've made it to 7:47, so I wish we could talk all night.
Thank you for having me.
It's been a pleasure, Don. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Everybody, make sure you go and like the Morphine Dream on Facebook. You could find it by searching on author Donald Loring Brown, and then if you could pick up the book, it's a really fun read. It's amazing. Don, thanks so much.
Thank you.
And we got to kick you out of here now. We'll be talking to you after the show some more. Ladies and gentlemen, our next guest, I'm going to find his intro graphic. So we're going to do an old showbiz trick now. We're going to... Okay, Dan, so come over here and sit down now. Oh, no, I got the wrong one. It's not Evan Fox. It's going to be special guest Dan Thorn.
Well, they're kind of like...
Yeah, it's sort of, yeah, it's intertwined because we're going to have a roundtable discussion. It's Dan Thorn. He's wrapped in the New Jersey flag. I asked Dan to come here tonight. As you could see, somewhere he stole a flag from New Jersey. Now, me and Dan, this is, I've asked Evan, who's from New Hampshire, to mediate the discussion. Because, like we said, thanks so much, Evan.
Yep.
Now, Dan and I grew up in the tri-state area, which, as everyone should know, the tri-state doesn't just mean where any three states meet. Tri-state is New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, in that order. I grew up in Connecticut, which is the, we make more money than the other states, in the tri-state area. We're better educated. We have Gale, and we're kind of taught from a very young age to not have anything to do with anyone from New Jersey. And as part of depression recovery involves trying to learn how to make friends with as many different people as you can. And so, kind of, asked Dan to come down tonight to is like the first person in my life from New Jersey who I've ever really talked to. Dan, I guess, is it the same in New Jersey? Like how do you guys in New Jersey, do you have any opinion? Do you grow up with any kind of perspective toward us in Connecticut?
And first off, thanks for having me on the show, Johnny. Thanks for having me, Evan. And thanks for reminding me, thanks for actually teaching me that Connecticut is the third state in the tri-state area, because I had no idea. It was, I figured it was New Jersey, it was New York, and then some other one that's not important. But, I guess that makes sense.
It was always listed like that: New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, and
like Meatloaf said, one of maybe one of the few decent Connecticut residents or Connecticut-born people. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. As far as it goes, I think I'm glad to teach you a little bit more about New Jersey versus Connecticut. It's a hub of art and culture. Just south of New York City. No, New Jersey. Perhaps I can acquaint you with some names here. Just throwing out Frank Sinatra, Old Blue Eyes, Bruce Springsteen, The Misfits, My Chemical Romance. How many times have you seen them on tour? I imagine a lot. But some names from Connecticut. You have some talents like Moby. John Mayer. I think
He's from Connecticut?
He is. You gotta claim that one. But
you know what though? Not to cut you off, but they do have Frank Pepe's pizza, and that's like.
Who does?
Oh, you're gonna contest.
Connecticut?
You're gonna contest
Pepe's. It's
Connecticut pizza against New Jersey's.
Well, I think that's one thing. That's kind of one common ground. And I'm sure, Evan, you being from New Hampshire, you'd have to agree that any pizza. I mean, do you guys have pizza in New Hampshire?
well, I mean,
Because the pizza that we have in the tri-state area is really, that's one place where we can unite, is because there's no better pizza. Certainly.
There's no better pizza than New Jersey pizza made with the New Jersey tap water. The extra fluoride in it really brings out the flakiness of the crust.
But so there's not toxic chemicals in the water in New Jersey, because that's what we grow up in Connecticut.
Drinking the energy drink is asking me about toxic chemicals, but no, it's you
Trying to get a
It's like
sponsorship.
eating your vegetables as a kid. It builds character. That's why I'm so tall and strong right now, because
That was the only reason we had to go to New Jersey, was to you had to go down to New Jersey Pike to go to Giant Stadium to see the Giants, which is this kind of the Connecticut Giants country, really, at least the old school was. And so then going down to Jersey Pike, I mean, Evan, if you've ever been out of New Hampshire, have you ever seen the New Jersey Turnpike?
I mean, once or twice.
Because the New Jersey Turnpike is just like filled with chemical factories and like green smoke coming out of factories.
yeah, it was great. My lifelong appreciation of the Lord of the Rings trilogy was really helped by being able to visit my own real-life Mordor. I wish that you were able to grow up with such a deep understanding of literature in Connecticut. But instead, you have whatever you have.
Well, we have we aspire to white-collar crime, banking, money-making. Insurance. We
Wrestling.
There's
Quiet desperation.
severe desperation, tempered by the pursuit of money, is pretty much what we're taught. There's no higher pursuit than being an elitist snob in Connecticut making money. It's kind of
That's the thing that's wrong with Connecticut. New Jersey, we've got soul, we've got character, we've got charisma. We're larger than life. Connecticut is, you don't live in Connecticut. You're just existing.
That's at the beginning I thought that was our strong suit. I thought, well, at least we could make money, which I'm sure Evan, being from New Hampshire, which there's really not much money being made up there.
Well,
Whereas in Connecticut, I mean, that's we didn't mind being third in the trifecta of New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, because we knew that we made more money than anybody else in the tri-state, and
I don't even know if that's true anymore. Actually, there is a recent online poll of residents of every state. I don't know about the rest of the state. I imagine it's awful, but Hartford, Connecticut was actually voted the worst state capital to live in as of about 2 months ago, based on a variety of factors, including local attractions, including education, including crime, including architectural pizzazz or lack thereof. A lot of different factors.
well, we're becoming
I'm sitting
kind of
pretty
more
at
like
45 in Trenton, New Jersey.
Trenton. That's
Yeah.
where you're from, Trenton?
Well, no, I'm from Hoboken, but
Is it
our capital city is way better. Let me assure you.
Frank Sinatra's from Hoboken? Is that
It
right?
sure is. Old Blue Eyes.
And is Yogi Berra from Hoboken too?
I believe so.
And I think Phil Rizzuto died in an old folks home in Hoboken, if I'm not mistaken.
I wouldn't be too surprised.
I'm pretty sure he did.
Dude, I think he did. Yeah, that's what. Well, I did not hear that. Well, that to me that just means Hartford's kind of has more in common with New Jersey. But I guess we are finding some common ground, and talking about these the different geographical tensions. I mean, Evan, did you being from New Hampshire, did you did you have a viewpoint of
your homespun rural backwoods wisdom?
All right, great. Well, let me cut right to the chase and tell you what I've been trying to tell you for the last 10 minutes. I'm not from New Hampshire.
Oh, so you're from Vermont?
No.
Maine?
No.
Canada?
No. What the?
You're living off the grid.
I'm from here. I grew up in Watertown, like down the street. Where the hell did you guys get the idea that I lived in New Hampshire?
Wait, so New Hampshire went to war, a civil war with Massachusetts, sometime in the last 30 years, and they annexed Watertown, and you were born under the occupation?
No, I was born in Beth Israel Deaconess in Boston, Massachusetts in 1984. I grew up, down the street. I've lived here my whole life. I've said that on the show. I've said that I've never left this town. Holy shit. I've been trying to tell you that for 10 minutes.
Well, you know what? I'm really sorry, guys, but we're out of time, and as soon as I find the graphics, and I think I have to try to move this back to slide it over the beginning. But we covered a lot of ground in the show, and hey, we'll talk to you next month, everybody. Thanks a lot.